Hello guys, and this is my seawing video. So first off, economics. Well, they have a few problems with economics. First of all, yeah, I think you get it from the picture, but good luck actually forging down there, and good luck forging underwater. And if you're wondering why forging above water is a problem, well, you probably don't want to do it because, yeah, an attack can come when they're above water and they're not that great of fighters. They don't have very many defenses. It just overall wouldn't go well for them. And that's kind of a big problem because if you're unprepared while you're out forging, that means that they would be heavily reliant on other tribes for metals, plus they have a limited number of islands, so heavily limited industry. Now, a good thing about their economy is they have pretty well an unlimited food supply in the form of fish, because think about this logically, the ocean's a pretty big place, so they have virtually unlimited food. They could possibly trade for it, especially like the islands. But now the other economic resource they have is metal. They got a lot of space to mine. They can't forge it, but they can sell it to other tribes and trade for it. But that also points out the reliance on other tribes. Population boom. They're likely to have a population boom, which will only further their economy due to high amounts of space. And due to high amounts of space, I mean, obviously, they have pretty well unlimited space for their kingdom to grow. Other than they can't go too far north where they freeze to death, I suppose. But other than that, they have basically a limited range. And also, because of the unlimited food supply, that also kind of adds to it. Now, onto the military. They have some real problems as far as the military is concerned. Yeah, huge problems, whether that be through weapons or through training. First off, yeah, metalworking's hard, so armor's going to be rare, and metal weapons that are high quality are also going to be rare, which is a problem. And you want to say, what about narwhal spears? Well, I mean, you don't want a narwhal spear because the bone's brittle. It would crack, it would break, and pretty soon this was going to happen, especially if you're hitting solid, heavy-duty metal plate, which is overall not a good thing. Their commanders literally forgot, and they literally were fighting on their home turf, the Seawing Palace, and they lost. They have horrible commanding systems, especially after Commander Tempest died. And, well, a lot of other things have happened that's wrong. And just for reference, the Summer Palace, on their home turf, they had lots of guards there. They were on their home turf, meaning they knew what they were doing. And they somehow managed to get completely caught off by surprise from an attacker far away. If they had proper logistics, proper command, they probably would have spotted the skywings and have been able to run off if they had truly proper command structure. And yeah, this just further adds up for island colonies, and that's a huge problem. And due to the lack of training, which is highly likely, it doesn't seem they're a real militaristic tribe compared to some of the others, that's another problem. And do you want me evidence? Once again, they probably lack of training added into the Summer Palace incident. That's good evidence, although it's not entirely confirmed, and we don't know anything about militaristic culture. The islands are vulnerable, as I just said, and having islands like this is a huge problem. They're very rare, as you can see, most of the ocean, so if they do want to use them, they're pretty rare, plus tsunamis would actually affect them up there. Yeah, they got a huge problem for their heirs. Idiot. Psycho learned how to fly underwater. They're a little psycho baby. That pretty well sums it up. I mean, first of all, this is not an heir, but Queen Coral is a dumbass. I mean, I don't even have to say this, but she took council matters that were stupid over helping some guys that were bleeding to death. You gotta be kidding me. And got bored and was more concerned with the floor, although that's probably an exaggeration in the book, to be fair. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She doesn't care for her heirs other than that. And she's pretty incompetent overall. Otherwise, a lot of the incidents that happened would have not have happened. Literally every other YouTuber knows this, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Tsunami. I don't have to explain this. She's totally incompetent socially wise, which is important for a queen. She's not as stupid as Coral, but still socially incompetent and huge problem. Huge reputation problem for the seawings after the incident gets a little awkward in public. And this is literally Tsunami's entire thought process. Tsunami's crazy. We all know it. That bad stuff would happen. She became queen. Anemone, may or may not be a problem that she's a little bit wacko, especially after trying to kill a bunch of innocent people, beating Moon, and a lot of other social problems. And listen, not to mention all the other issues, I don't really have to talk about this very much. I mean, she's a little psycho. We all know what happened in the books. Do I even have to get started about Auklet? We don't even know she's going to be a good heir. She could be totally incompetent for all we know. She's a baby, and babies can't rule very well as far as I know of. Yeah. And furthermore, cultural divide is a potential scenario, like a civil war. That's definitely true, because think about it, island seawings that are more industrial would value different things than underwater seawings, which would be a more fish-based economy, and couple this with their current political situation, with Coral being wacko. I don't need to explain myself there. Yeah, this is highly plausible and could cause significant problems. It's highly plausible a civil war could occur, especially if, because all the daughters are really incompetent, even if they didn't fight, it's highly likely that any of them would cause a major upbringing. And we never see the common folk scene. We only see the aristocrats and that sort talking about Coral. We don't know what the common people think. They probably are just hiding what they're feeling. Now, as I just discussed, population boom, it might actually become a problem, diseases and stuff like that, but it's highly unlikely it will cause any future problems that would lead to this, which is kind of an issue, I would say. And because of this, it's horrible. And think about it. The seawings equipment is bad, so if they got into a major war, a major industrial war, they would struggle to actually make any grounds. They'd probably just go back underwater. It's not a bad thing to be able to hide underwater, but still they're not going to make too much of an impact. Unless they got ridiculous population boom, which I don't think it'll be that eccentric. Yeah, Coral's a bit of an eccentric spender. Plus, with their current economic situations, it's highly likely downfall is common, and potentially even an economic collapse, which is not good, to say the least. If they had an economic collapse, this is possibly the worst case scenario, because think about it, no money, you can't really do that much overall. It creates huge problems with their kingdom, and especially due to their reliance on trade. If a major war kicks out, they're going to be stuck in the gutter. They're just going to be down there, basically incapable of trading, and money is very important. Now, as I just discussed, Coral's a bit of a lunatic, and here's why I think this might create problems, is because her lack of care for the general populace might create problems unless she's like Scarlet level authoritative, just hamper down on revolutionaries, which I don't think Coral's quite to that extent, so it's highly likely she is a major factor into a potential political upbringing, which is obvious. I just discussed this. I mean, not caring about troops. She takes more care about her writing than actual Congress. No. council affairs. Dang it, because I'm American. But back to topic. She just overall does not know what she's doing leadership-wise. She's not handling the economic situation very well. She's very flamboyant, which is like the French Revolution. You would know that that's not a good idea since it would represent court culture. And if the seawings are going to have a sort of enlightenment period of reason, then she might become a major target. This is another scenario of how a civil war could start. Dang it. Missign. But, and couple this with her lack of care, that also factors into economic downturn, because if you don't have someone that actually knows what they're doing economy-wise, they might screw some policy decisions up. You see what I'm saying? Screwing policy decisions is never a good thing. It could cause huge problems. Okay, this is Quinn Whitsett, and bye!